I started playing tennis a year and a half ago and have made it my goal to seek out the most unique tennis courts and tennis experiences. So far I've seen some pretty awesome places, however one remained on my bucket list. And this brought us from Austin, Texas to Iowa. Have you ever been to Iowa?
Never been to Iowa. I've got a good feeling this one's gonna be magical.
You're always gambling and you fly Allegiant, and we're about 40 minutes late right now and we're waiting on the flight attendant. Great start to the trip. You think waiting 2 hours for this plane was worth it for this shot? Look at this shot. I mean, sometimes you wait 2 hours for something and then life gives you something cool. Later night than expected. I did not eat before the plane ride. I thought we were landing at 8 and now it is 12:30 and we are sitting in a McDonald's. So nutrition, not great. But thanks to today's sponsor, not all hope is lost. AG1 is a daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I recently started making this part of my daily routine and could not be happier about the peace of mind it gives me. AG1 has ingredients that support immune health to make sure I'm healthy and on the court as much as possible. The best part about it is just how easy it is. Obviously, we're on the road. It's not easy to get nutrition, but because of these things, super easy. 1 scoop at home, 1 packet on the road, 75 vitamins, probiotics, minerals. It's just that easy. Go to drinkag1.com/winnersonlytennis or scan the QR code to get a free bottle of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free travel packets with your first subscription. Thanks to AG1 for making this video possible. We're about an hour outside of our destination. If you've never been in a Fiat, it's the loudest car of all time. We are on the road up to the court. It's been cornfields for miles. This is insane. If you look at the scenery, it does not look like there'd be a tennis court out there. I'm very excited to what we're walking into. It could very well be the most special tennis court in the United States. We'll know by the end of the day.
Right there.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Morning. This is unbelievable already. Wow.
Welcome to the All Iowa Lawn
This
Tennis
is
Club.
amazing.
I cannot believe this. I knew the court was nice, but it's like everything around it, the fence, the flowers, oh my gosh.
We do things the Wimbledon way as much as we possibly can.
It's time to give you some context. We're currently in Charles City, Iowa at the All Iowa Lawn Tennis Club, where over 20 years ago, Mark fulfilled his dream of bringing Wimbledon to his backyard by building a grass tennis court where the cattle feeder used to be. Since then, the legend has grown with countless stories being written and told about the place. And as someone who is constantly seeking unique tennis experiences, this was at the top of my bucket list. The first thing that struck me when I got here was the small details paying homage to Wimbledon that you just don't get from the pictures.
Well, I'll just show you a couple of things. These are knockoff Wimbledon net posts. They're made of American ash, but those were so expensive, we just kind of made our own. And this is a plaque, when the day we put them up happened to be my wife and I's 41st wedding anniversary.
Wow.
I did real well with that chair. My wife really liked that. The umpire's chair is it's actually an 8-foot step ladder. Got a rocking chair on top. In fact, it's always in a state of repair because it gets broken. Now, this last couple of times, we really reinforced it with these braces. And so we don't think it's gonna break anymore, but after a while, you'll get up there. It's quite a view. We brought this out. This is about the mid-1960s. My mother used to take me to 2 places to play tennis, either Waterloo or Rochester, Minnesota, to play people because there really wasn't many people playing tennis around Charles City, and I really liked the game. This was the rules at a club in Rochester, Minnesota. It was my first real experience with what a tennis club is. You gotta kind of love it. I mean, when you look at this 1960s, move tennis cans, covers, and cigarette butts, etc.
That's hilarious.
It is.
Do you say you have people here every weekend during the...
Oh, yes. We could really, I could have as many people here as I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's like tickets at Wimbledon, the demand always exceeds the supply.
Yes, yeah. Mark then took us to a special corner of the court, a memorial for his son Alex, who passed in 2016. Now each year they host a tournament in his name that pits the best juniors from Iowa versus the best juniors from Minnesota. You can feel Alex's legacy on the court in this corner, but especially from the hospitality that Mark and his family give to his guests.
We came up with this whole corner here, which named the Court of Dreams, and then we started having these kids tournaments, and it just kind of started to build in its importance and all. So,
Yeah, it's really special.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Mark then brought us to the Queen's Box and told us more stories about the court and Wimbledon. If you've had the pleasure of meeting Mark, you know that his Wimbledon stories are endless. He first interned there in 2012 and has been a court attendant a number of times and been to the club a total of 6. His goal? To reach Federer's record and get there 8 times. As a huge tennis fan, Mark couldn't help but bend some rules in his time working, including meeting some players.
And all these guys that on the grouse there for a kid made, Mark, we were supposed to do this. But I met her, and Novak was very nice. He signed this bag. There, that one. Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Got into trouble on that one. 3 of us in center court, and my buddy said, do you want to hit one? I said, really?
This is an incredible story, but not every story is meant to be told. Did Mark hit his legendary American twist serve on center court? We'll keep it a mystery and let you decide.
If Mark never asks you, were you actually serving on center court?
Say no.
Just say no, of course not. That was Photoshop.
Yeah.
I just love the story.
That is really funny. After some lunch in town with the family and friends, we headed back to get my first taste of actually playing on the court. I was set to play a match against Mark's grandson, Rylan. We had actually just recently played on a makeshift grass court on a golf driving range, and I was interested to see how this would compare. Right off the bat, the bounce was way different, way higher, played a lot more like a regular tennis court. We had waited to start playing later in the day to let the ground harden up and the moisture to leave the court so it played a little quicker, and let me tell you, it was like playing a different game. I was struggling to prepare on time at the beginning, but got more and more used to it as the day went on, and let me tell you, this court was a blast to play on.
Ground stroke's feeling good after that little warm up there.
I played twice on grass courts. This is by far the highest bouncing grass court that I played on, so it's gonna be different. We got a chair umpire today. Oh no. Brady, what are your qualifications for the right now? Years and years of experience. While the setup could not have been better, the conditions were tough as the wind was howling. You pair that with grass bounces and footwork is key, but man, it was tough to get a clean racket on the ball. There's really no way around it. As you can see, the tennis in the first set was ugly. Luckily, we had the crowd behind us to lift our spirits. We had Kyle in my box cheering hard for me, and Rylan's grandparents and friends cheering hard for him. I'm gonna be honest, hearing people cheer after you hit a good tennis shot feels awesome. In order to take out the wind variables, I started serving and volleying with some success. This strategy was able to get me a first set victory 6-3. However, the tides began to change in the second set. Kyle interviewed Rylan before the start of the second set, and his analysis was simple. He needed to make first serves, and he did just that, putting me in trouble early. Down 4-3 in the second. Rylan has found his serve. He's up a break. We're gonna keep battling. Unfortunately for me, Rylan also found his forehand in the wind, which is tough to do. It was in fact so windy that we had a brief intermission because of this. By the end of it though, we got used to the wind and started playing some quality points. While I did win this point, I could not come all the way back, and Rylan had a set point and Mark was locked in.
Good serve. Good return. Okay, Rylan, you got the whole court. There it is in the corner. Put it away.
Here we go.
Going 3.
Going 3.
May the best man win. This is why we're here.
This is why we're here. Love it. That's what I said. I just said. We're just.
I think the young one.
As for who ended up winning, we're going to let you tune in later to see the full set and find out who won the tiebreak. After the match, we enjoyed some strawberries and cream in the Queen's Box, a Wimbledon classic. Kyle then played some doubles with Ryland's friends, and it was some pretty quality tennis.
Oh. Kyle, you let your teammate down. That was insane.
Me and Kyle then had to get a brother hit in, and it was insane the rate he's improving at. Just a couple of weeks ago in New York, you couldn't keep a rally going for more than 4 balls, and today, we were really going at it. If you want to follow his journey, go over to Winners Only Deuce on YouTube, where he is documenting himself getting better at tennis. After this, I had some questions on the maintenance of the court and just how much work goes into it. So how large is the ground crew at Wimbledon?
Well, there's 16 permanent ground staff, and then during the championships, they bring in people from all over to help because it's such a monumental task. They have to have crews on all the courts.
Yeah, and this court is just you and Ryland helps out a little bit?
Yeah.
How many hours a week in season?
Oh goodness, 2 hours a day. That includes mowing, marking, watering the flowers, hoeing the weeds. It's like I said, it's a labor of love, but the labor is getting to be a little bit hard right now. And you want to pass this on to someone, because this is not something that people know about anymore. And so you're kind of passing on this love of lawn tennis.
As Mark gets older, one of his key concerns is how to keep this place alive, and we sat down to talk about some of the ideas he's had. We want to keep this place alive, and I know you want some less work. What are some of the ideas that some people have had to try to keep this place running? Because it's...
Well, a couple, 3. We've actively solicited an intern who's studying turf grass, who could come here, perhaps live in the house and take care of the court. But that one hasn't caught yet.
Okay.
Just haven't got the right individual.
If anyone who's watching this is interested in an internship in turf grass, this is your spot. Comment. This would be like the most serene summer ever and the nicest court. Like, it'd be a special place. So I think that would be a really cool one.
Another one that people keep saying, and we won't do because it really involves more work, is, well, you just turn this into a bed and breakfast and charge an awful lot of money, and people would do that. They would 100%. Come here. They would come here and spend the night or a night or two, and then just get to play unlimited on the court. And then the other one we've had, since we were blessed with having Madison Keys here, how about getting a professional player to come do a fundraiser for our foundation.
Yeah.
And the idea strictly is for the sustainability of the court.
Yeah, if you have ideas about ways to keep this court alive, anything, I'll put the email in the description of the video. You can reach out to Mark. After this conversation, Mark said he wanted to go out and hit some, and it was an absolute treat. Oh, and that legendary American twist serve that I spoke of earlier? Yeah, he still got it.